Hello, and welcome to Barry Nerd Corner. My name is Brandon, and this is my attempt to beat Pokemon Platinum version using only Tobias's Pokemon. If you haven't seen the Diamond and Pearl anime, you may not know Tobias. He's a character who appears during the Lily of the Valley conference at the end of the series. He's notorious for having an insane team that includes Darkrai and Latios. He defeats Ash in the semifinals, which is a point of contention for fans. I don't mind it, but that's getting off topic. Anyway, the rules are simple. I can only use Pokemon that Tobias uses in the anime. We only know of 2 Pokemon of his, Darkrai and Latios. However, I'm going to make it a bit harder for myself by beating Platinum the same way that Tobias did, using only Darkrai. Latios was canonically only used when Ash defeated Darkrai, so this is going to be a Darkrai solo run. Normally, I would impose hardcore Nuzlocke rules, but those are irrelevant in this challenge. I will forbid items in battle aside from held items, and obviously, HM Pokemon are permitted. Without further ado, let's jump into Sinnoh and see what Tobias' Pokemon journey was like. We shrink down to start the game and jump to choosing our starter. I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to turn Turtwig into Darkrai. This will give my rival Infernape, who will be super effective against me. Barry immediately challenges us to a battle, but his small monkey is no match for the power of darkness. After the battle, Barry wants to go to Lake Verity to catch the legendary Pokemon there, hoping to impress Rowan. Dude, he gave a legendary to a 10-year-old. What makes you think this will impress him? We meet a mysterious blue-haired man before realizing that we don't have any extra Pokeballs. So we head to the lab in Sandgem Town, where Rowan remarks about evolving Darkrai already. Dude, Darkrai doesn't evolve, and this is exactly what you gave us. Anyway, he lets us nickname Darkrai Yami after one of the coolest anime characters ever. He also gives us the TM for return, which is a lifesaver. Without it, Yami only knows Ominous Wind, which can't hit the next 2 trainers at all. I was ready to grind to level 11 when Yami learns Quick Attack, but now I don't have to do that. I head home to tell Mom that I'm going to travel the world with the God of Darkness, which makes her happy. Thanks, Mom. We head north from Sandgem Town to Route 202, where we face our greatest adversary, youngster Tristan with a level 5 Starly. This, honestly, took a few tries without a bunch of grinding, because Return doesn't do a lot of damage yet, but eventually we hit the burn enough to take it down and move on. Arriving in Jubilife City, Dawn thinks we'd be safer with more Pokemon. Dawn, do you even know how strong Yami is? I think I'll be fine. We also have to find a few literal clowns so that we can earn a cool watch. I've always hated the order of these tickets, by the way. I leave Jubilife and run into rival Ash again. Yami makes quick work of his 2 Pokemon with Quick Attack, which is currently stronger than Return, and Ominous Wind. Time to move on. Nothing of importance happens before we reach Rourke. He leads with Geodude, who falls to a single Ominous Wind. Onyx takes 2 hits, but only sets up a Stealth Rock before fainting. Last is Cranidos. The first Ominous Wind gives Yami the Omni Boost, which is a hard sentence to say, securing victory and the first badge for Tobias. We return to Jubilife, where Rowan is accosting some Team Galactic grunts, but then he forces a pair of 10-year-olds to fight them. Not cool, bro. We handle them easily, but then Rowan tells us to take on all the gyms so that we can further his research. What the heck, dude? Are there no child labor laws in the Pokemon world? Speaking of Team Galactic, they've taken over the Valley Windworks to capture a Drifloon? I don't get it. But Yami clears out a few grunts before challenging Mars. Zubat goes down to 2 Ominous Winds. It manages to hit us with Toxic, but a Pechaberry cures that right up. Last is Perugly. I start hitting with Quick Attacks, only pausing long enough to disable her Scratch to take less damage. A few turns later, Yami is rewarded with an evil amount of experience for defeating this chonky kitty. Yami levels up to level 20 on the next round, allowing it to learn Hypnosis. This is a great move for Darkrai because it activates its Bad Dreams ability to deal extra damage each turn. Now, the nightmare can truly begin. We make it easily to Eterna City, where we quickly meet a bunch of people. Barry first shows us a statue and brags about his foolproof battle plan. Then the blue-haired guy shows up and rambles on about legendaries again. After that, a blonde woman shows up who seems to know about Rowan and the Pokedex. Then finally, we meet Gardenia at the gym, who says she'll be waiting for us. But not for long, because we're jumping right into her battle. Gardenia uses Turtwig, Cherim, and Roserade. For the first 2, I put them to sleep and hit them with Ominous Wind. Both survive the first hit, allowing Yami to get the Omni Boost twice and KO them without taking any damage. Roserade manages to dodge Hypnosis and paralyzes Yami, so we switched to using the last 2 Ominous Wind PP to take it out easily. Team Galactic is also in Eterna City, so we have to clear out the Eterna Galactic building. Commander Jupiter is there with her Skuntank. Zubat goes down easily, but Skuntank hits me with a smokescreen. which is just what a villainous team would do. Yami manages to hit with Hypnosis and several returns, eventually taking it down with Yami's Bad Dreams ability. This also rescued the bike shop owner, so we go collect our reward. Cynthia reappears and gives us an egg for Togepi. We grab the bike and head south to Heart Home City. Along the way, we run into Cyrus again, who finally introduces himself. In the city, we seek out BB to retrieve an Eevee. Nothing else of consequence happens because contests are lame, so let's jump straight to the gym. Fantina's team consists of Duskull, Haunter, and Mismagius, but they all fall to a single hit from Feint Attack each, without dealing any damage. This gym was never going to be an issue for us. The same is true for the next battle with Ash. Feint Attack takes down Staravia, then a slew of ominous winds take down the rest of the team easily. Ash then laments about his foolproof plan not working at all before running off. In Salacion Town, we set up a ball capsule for Yami. Gotta get some cooler seals for this, but it'll do for now. We head north to Route 210 and find a father-daughter duo with an illegal Rapidash, so naturally, Yami has to punish them. We also find the cafe cabin, where we stuff a 24-pack of milk into our backpack. Before we reach Veilstone, we also handle another double battle with a couple of cool trainers, which Yami handles quite easily. I enter the city and find Dawn standing in front of the gym. Crasher Wake comes out, sings a little song, and then leaves. We'll see you soon, buddy, but for now, it's Maylene time. She starts with a Meta-type, but it falls immediately to Ominous Wind. Next is Machoke. Yami puts it to sleep and then knocks it out with some Bad Dreams and the Power of Friendship. Lucario is last. After a hard hit from Force Palm, I put him to sleep and then hit him with a series of Ominous Winds for the win. And that's 4 badges. After the battle, there's some plot of Dawn losing her Pokedex to some Galactic Grunts. And Looker is here, once again after the conflict is resolved. What a trustworthy police officer. Now we head south to Pastoria City. The only noteworthy thing here is the 7 Stars restaurant, which is a great place to grind for experience and money. We also find Dr. Footsteps, who gives us a peek into Yami's thoughts. I'm uncomfortable. Anyway, we run into Ash again when we get to Pastoria City. His Staravia falls to a critical hit and everything else falls to 2 hits. So far, Yami has railroaded Ash as hard as Tobias did in the anime. Crasher Wake then challenges us. Shockwave takes down Gyarados and Floatzel in single hits each. Then I put Quagsire to sleep and hit it with a bunch of Ominous Winds to earn the 5th badge. And now it's time for some boring plot stuff with a couple of literal bombs. But the only thing of note that happens is our first battle with Cyrus. This fight is pretty easy. Sneasel takes 2 shockwaves before falling, but both Murkrow and Golbat fall immediately. Cynthia's mom gives us Surf, so we return to Jubilife City, travel through Route 218, and enter Canalave City. And guess what? Another fight with Ash. But we're just gonna skip this one because nothing of consequence actually happens. Next up is the Canalave City Gym, and Leader Byron starts out with a Magneton. 2 Shadow Balls take it out, but it does hit Yami with a Metal Sound to reduce its special defense. Steelix falls to the same treatment, only setting up a Sandstorm. Last is Bastiodon, who has a special defense boost due to the weather. Yami puts it to sleep and then electrocutes it for 4 turns, knocking it out and earning us the badge. Now it's time for plot. Rowan wants us to just look at the lake Pokemon in Sinnoh's 3 lakes. Okay, his voyeur mission is interrupted by a bomb detonating at the lake where I'm going. Great. We travel to Lake Valor to discover Team Galactic has blown up the lake. That's 3 literal bombs in this game. We challenge Commander Saturn to a battle, but it's a total sweep. Now we have to check on Dawn and Rowan at Lake Verity. We arrive at Lake Verity too late to stop Team Galactic, but not too late to show Mars who's boss. This fight is also a total sweep, so let's skip it and head north for the next badge. And to check on Ash, I guess. We brave the frozen wasteland that are routes 216 and 217. We find a lodge to rest, run into Maylene, and head directly into a blizzard. When we reach Acuity Lakefront, Ash is there to tell us about Rock Climb. He then runs off to face Team Galactic. Finally, another competent human being. In Snowpoint City, we challenge Candace to earn our 7th badge. She sends out a Sneasel first. After baiting out her Hyper Potion, Yami puts it to sleep and knocks it out with Shockwave and some Bad Dreams. Next is Abomasnow, who manages to hit a Focus Blast before falling to Shadow Ball. Yami then beats Frostlass with Feint Attack and Piloswine with Shadow Ball, beating Candace. Now that we can climb rocks, we visit Lake Acuity to see that Ash has totally beaten Team Galactic. Or not. What the heck, dude? Get your game face on! I guess we have to go to the Veilstone Galactic HQ, even though Jupiter told us not to. In the HQ, we watch Cyrus give a rousing, totally not evil speech to his grunts. Somehow none of them see us when the speech ends, and then Looker brags about his status as a police officer, and I'm left to wander the hideout alone with Yami. Also, against a random grunt, Yami learns its signature move, Dark Void. Later in the HQ, we find Cyrus, who seems to know that we saw his speech. He challenges us, but his team is no match for Yami's Thunderbolt. After his defeat, he rambles about emotions and his plan and him making Pokemon's power his own. He gives us the Master Ball too, which is weird because this would be perfect to capture whichever legendary Pokemon he wants to use. But whatever, dude. Cyrus leaves, so we continue exploring and find Saturn again. He tries to stop us, but Yami electrocutes his entire team just like Cyrus's. We free the Lake Trio, even though Yami is more than enough to handle whatever Team Galactic brings. Saturn and the rest of the team head to Mount Coronet for the endgame, so we follow. Climbing Mount Coronet, we face a number of galactic grunts, but they're no match for Yami. We reach the summit and are challenged by Mars and Jupiter. Ash decides to interrupt, thinking he can help. But Yami spitefully takes out his entire team before electrocuting all of the commander's Pokemon. Ash heals my team before running off, tail between his legs. Cyrus then puts his plan into motion, using 2 red chains to summon and bind both Dialga and Palkia. He rambles just long enough for the Lake Trio to show up and free the 2 legendaries. But Giratina, jealous that it wasn't invited to this party, appears and pulls Cyrus into the Distortion World. Cynthia convinces us to join her as she dives after Cyrus to save and or stop him. When we arrive, Cynthia leaves us alone to explore this purgatory. I do the responsible thing and chuck the Master Ball into the void. Now, no one can use it. So here's the thing. I'm mostly just going to skip the Distortion World. It's a nightmare of a maze to navigate no matter how many times you play this game. Eventually, we find our way through, solve the puzzle with the Lake Trio, and descend to face Cyrus. He rambles about destroying everything or some nonsense, then tries to prove that he's right by beating me in a Pokemon battle. Yami puts Houndoom to sleep, then takes it out with Thunderbolt. The same happens to Weavile a few turns later, after a full restore. 3 more Thunderbolts take out Gyarados, Honchkrow, and Crobat. Defeated, Cyrus runs off into the void. That seems like the most logical response. Cynthia heals Yami and encourages us to confront Giratina. So it's time for Darkrai to start crossing names off his legendary hit list. I approach Giratina and challenge him. Yami launches a single Shadow Ball and defeats the Dragon Pokemon, and I assume becomes ruler of the Distortion World? After that anticlimax, Cyrus reappears to ramble more about destroying and recreating everything before disappearing into the void. Again. Cynthia and I exit through a random portal and return to Sinnoh. At her behest, I fly to St. Jim Town to let Rowan know that I'm alive. He lets me know that the Lake Trio returned to their homes, so now I can cross those names off Yami's hit list. We head north to Lake Acuity, enter the Acuity Cavern, and defeat Uxie as quickly as Giratina. Next is Azelf in the cavern at Lake Valor, who falls just as quickly. Mesprit is a bit more tricky. We find it in Verity Cavern, but it just disappears to play a game of tag across Sinnoh. I grab the marking map from Jubilife City and start monitoring its location. Luckily, it's hanging out right around Jubilife, so I find and defeat it quickly. With the Lake Trio defeated, we can move on to Sunny Shore City. We meet Flint of the Elite Four, who wants us to inspire Volkner back to being a gym leader. Volkner agrees to battle us, but plans to challenge the Elite Four if he finds us weak. I don't think either of those is going to be happening, dude. Flint meets us outside the gym to remind us of our mission to inspire Volkner. We enter the gym and make our way to Volkner. Unfortunately, I forgot to record this gym battle, so let me tell you quickly what happened. Yami defeated everything with Shadow Ball. We get the 8th badge and we move on. As we head north to leave Sunny Shore City, Ash runs up to us. He rambles something about dreaming, which is ironic considering that Yami's going to turn that dream into a nightmare. We then meet Jasmine, who gives us the HM for Waterfall, and more importantly, Johto confirmed! We traverse Route 223 and climb a waterfall to reach Victory Road. After healing the team, we head into the cave. Victory Road poses little challenge to Yami, and we emerge on the other side at the Pokemon League. Ash challenges us to one final battle. Thunderbolt takes down Staraptor, Heracross, Infernape, and Floatzel in single hits each. Snorlax barely manages to survive and hits us with a body slam. Yami puts him to sleep and knocks him out with Dark Pulse. Last is Roserade, who falls to a Dark Pulse as well. Nice try, Ash, but you never stood a chance. And now it's time for the final gauntlet. First is Aaron, the Bugmaster. He sends out his Yanmega first, who falls to Thunderbolt. Heracross survives the bolt, hits us with Stone Edge, and was healed with a full restore. But that gives Metronome just enough time to supercharge our Thunderbolt, which gives Yami the power to take out Heracross, Scizor, Vespiquen, and then Aaron's Ace Drapion with single hits. That was easy, so let's head into face Bertha. The Ground Mistress leads with Whiscash. It survives an Ice Beam, hits an Aqua Tail, then takes 2 more hits to fall. But again, this just gives Metronome the time it needs to supercharge Ice Beam, allowing me to take out every other member of her team with single hits of Frigid Doom. Imagine how much easier this would have been if I had led with Nasty Plot Bertha. This is the face of Mercy. Next is Flint the Fire User. He's been eager to fight us since he heard what we did to Volkner. Okay, dude. That's weird. He sends out his Houndoom first. I try a new strategy and take a turn to use Nasty Plot. Then it only takes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 Thunderbolts to take out his entire team. I even score a critical hit on his Ace Magmortar, presumably reducing the Magma Pokemon to ashes, which Flint confirms after the battle with a devastated silence. The last Elite Four is Lucian, the Psychic guy, but against a nightmare-like Darkrai, he doesn't stand a chance. Mr. Mime sets up Light Screen and Reflect, so I take this time to use Nasty Plot twice. Then, even with Light Screen, I destroy Mr. Mime, Gallade, and Alakazam. Then, Light Screen falls, and so does the rest of Lucian's team. He reminds me that I'm done with the Elite Four, but I still have the champion to face. So I heal up, use some rare candies, and enter the final room. Cynthia delays the inevitable with some exposition about our journey to this room. When the battle starts, Yami uses Nasty Plot while Spiritomb hits with Silverwind. After that, it's a slaughter. Dark Pulse defeats Spiritomb easily. Lucario comes out, but I commit to using Dark Pulse on him. He takes a hit, deals some heavy damage with Aura Sphere, then falls to a second hit. After that, Cynthia tries to fight with Togekiss, Garchomp, Milotic, and Roserade. But Yami blasts them all into the void. And with that, Tobias has become the champion of Sinnoh. Cynthia invites us into the Hall of Fame. As she does, freaking Rowan comes out of nowhere to brag about his stupid Pokedex project. Get out of here, you old man. I hate you. Unfortunately, Cynthia invites him to join us, and we are registered in the Hall of Fame, and the run officially ends as the credits roll. This was a lot of fun. I don't think I've ever used any legendary Pokemon in a game, so this was a nice change of pace. It just goes to show how powerful they are, and also how easy solo runs can be. Tobias was truly a force to be reckoned with in the anime, and the same proved true here. Also, the type coverage that you get with Thunderbolt and Ice Beam is insane. There's a good reason why Bolt Beam exists in competitive play. Like with my Joey run, any solo run with a setup move like Nasty Plot is going to be super easy. Also, Platinum is one of my favorite Pokemon games. I replay it in my personal life all the time. So this was a nice romp through the best Sinnoh game. Now to move on to Unova, the region with which I'm the least familiar. But that's it for this video. If you liked what you saw, like and subscribe. If you have any ideas for future videos, drop them in the comments down below. And while you're down there, tell me what your favorite Pokemon game is. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!